happiness. I wanna get it to Omega and all of my love, my peace and happiness.
The year is 1924. Birmingham, Alabama is prospering. It is a city of contrasts, known as the Magic City and Pittsburgh of the South for its booming iron and steel industry. But it is also a place where Negroes face significant social and economic hurdles.
In a city that was very hostile to African Americans. In 1924, man, bombings and lynchings and segregation, oh man, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Coming off the echoes of the 12th Grand Conclave in St. Louis, Missouri a year earlier, it is a pivotal moment for the Brothers of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. In St. Louis, Brother J.A. Atkins was re-elected to his third term as Grand Basileus. Brothers had determined that it was unnecessary for Omega to add new chapters. But suddenly, Brother Atkins had to relinquish the office of Grand Basileus because of some private business matters. Vice Grand Basileus J.W. Love moved forward and became the 10th Grand Basileus. Brother Love was eager to expand, and under his leadership, Omega chartered 4 new chapters in 1924: Beta Phi in Durham, North Carolina, Zeta Phi in Brooklyn, New York, Chi Omega in Thomasville, Georgia, and in Birmingham, Alabama, Alpha Phi.
With all the adversity, with all the discrimination, with all of the problems of race, of economics, just being a man, to be recognized and respected. And Omega men have demanded that. And I know and feel in my heart they had some awful times. However, as we hear the stories, as we see the pictures, they were. Omega men were still prominent.
Brothers, as we convene today in our inaugural meeting of the Alpha Phi chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, let us affirm our commitment to the cardinal principles of our fraternity: manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift.
Indeed, Brother Brown. Establishing our chapter leadership is our first order of business.
It is crucial that our leader embody these principles.
I move we elect the first bosses of the Alpha Phi chapter of Omega Psi Phi. He will guide us and lead us into the future.
I second that motion.
It has been properly moved and seconded that we have an election to elect our first basileus of the Alpha Phi chapter of Omega Psi Phi. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, let's put it to a vote by all the brothers saying yes.
Yes.
All opposed have the same right. Hearing none, motion carries. Do we have any nominations from the floor?
Brothers, I nominate Brother Walter L. Brown for the position of basileus.
I support that nomination. Brother Walter Brown's commitment and organizational skills are evident. His passion for this new chapter is unmatched.
Brothers, I am humbled in your confidence in me.
Let's proceed to the vote. All those in favor of electing Brother Walter L. Brown as our first bosses signify by saying aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations, Brother Walter L. Brown, as being elected as the first bossless of Alpha Phi Chapter.
Thank you, brothers, for your trust and your support. Now, let's focus on setting our agenda, which should include community service projects, educational programs, and other ways to show the true Omega Spirit here in the city of Birmingham.
Indeed, Brother Brown. As we establish our chapter, it is critical to lay a foundation that embodies the true Omega Spirit. Our activities need to reflect service and leadership.
As the secretary of the Birmingham chapter of the NAACP, I see great potential for our chapter in the civil rights and social justice initiatives. We are in a very unique position to influence and support our people's fight for equality.
Yes, we need equal justice, but we also need to find ways to provide uplift to our communities.
That's right, Brother Dr. McPherson. The community looks to leaders like us, whether through education, legal services, or providing health care.
What we do here in Birmingham is very important.
As someone who has served in our community through church and my journalism, I agree wholeheartedly. We need to use our positions to amplify the voice of the voiceless. My experiences in publishing the Birmingham Reporter have shown the power of the press in our fight for justice. Brothers, let's discuss our immediate plans. I propose we start by organizing a community health fair. Dr. Bryan, Dr. W.R. Brown, and Dr. Brown, you can do this by providing healthcare initiatives for those in need.
Alongside health, education must be our priority. We need to establish a scholarship fund. It will assist young men in the Birmingham community to pursue a higher education and build a legacy of scholarship.
Agreed, Brother Brown. And let's not forget about the youth. Partnering with Industrial High School for a mentorship program can help create the next generation of leaders.
Now I'd like to add our support for the local Negro businessmen. We can organize workshops to teach them business management skills as well as financial planning.
Excellent ideas, everyone. I'll take the lead on organizing our first public event. Let's aim for a strong turnout and show everyone what Omega Psi Phi really stands for.
We're more than just a new chapter. We're a force against segregation.
As we close this meeting, let us remember the importance of friendship and service. Our strength lies in our collective efforts and the bond we have as Omega Men.
Brothers, shouldn't we stand to recite our fraternity's motto as a reminder of why we are here and what we are trying to do as Alpha Phi?
Yes, we should. Brothers, let's stand.
Friendship is essential to the soul.
Friendship is essential to the soul.
Brothers, thank you. Let this be the first of many successful meetings. And may our actions reflect the high ideas of this great fraternity, Omega Psi Phi. And may Alpha Phi chapter lead with courage and enthusiasm and integrity. Brothers, this meeting is adjourned.
And so Alpha Phi was born. The 12 charter members were cut from a distinguished list of community leaders and professionals who played pivotal roles in shaping Birmingham's black community, like Dr. Henry Clay Bryant, a highly respected physician and surgeon, Dr. Arthur McKimmon Brown, known for his contributions to medicine and community health, Dr. Charles J. A. McPherson, who served as secretary of the Birmingham branch of the NAACP, advocating for civil rights and social justice, Oscar W. Adams Sr., a minister in the AME Church and the pioneering journalist who published the Birmingham Reporter, the newspaper that chronicled the life and times of Birmingham's black community from 1906 to 1934. His legacy lived on through his son, Oscar Williams Adams Jr., who made history as Alabama's first African-American Supreme Court Justice, also a brother from Alpha Phi. Tom Larkin, a former Alpha Phi bossless who once lived in the chapter's frat house for 4 years, recalls his connection to brother Oscar Adams Jr.
I remember when while I was at fraternity house, I got a job as the city magistrate for the city of Birmingham, along with Oscar Adams' son. We were both appointed at the same time. Oscar had connections with Jet and Jet Magazine and Ebony, and so he had an article written in Jet about my becoming a magistrate with my picture in it, and I still have that magazine.
That picture of a young Larkin also appeared in Omega's publication, The Oracle, pointing out Larkin's rise from Alabama's Black Belt to graduating from Miles, attending Lane College in Tennessee and Florence State University, before serving in the armed forces and obtaining a law degree from Cumberland. Larkin following on the aspirations and hopes of the charter members who led the way for other leaders at Alpha Phi. More about them later. But first, on December 11th, 1926, a groundbreaking moment is about to unfold in the Negro community of Birmingham. Convening in their fraternity house, Alpha Phi leaves an indelible mark.
Brothers, we've come a long way. Now it's time we take a bold step forward. We've discussed this before, but now we must decide. Do we purchase our own fraternity house?
It's a daring move, Brother Basilis Talifero, but owning our own space will give us stability and show the community our strength and commitment.
I agree. It's about more than just a house. It's about our legacy and paving the way for future generations.
Let's take a vote. All in favor? The motion passes. Let's make history, brothers.
This one has potential, but it's too small for our needs.
We need a place where we can hold our frat meetings, maybe host some community gatherings. We just want to accommodate our growing membership.
I think I found it. There's a house on the corner of 8th Avenue and John Street. Are you sure about this, gentlemen? It's a significant investment.
We understand the risk, Mr. Thompson, but we believe in Omega and how we are helping to move our fraternity into the future.
Very well. This house is yours. Congratulations, Alpha Phi.
I can't believe it. We're really doing this. It's more than just a house. It's a symbol of our perseverance and uplift.
This house stands as a testament to what we can achieve as brothers in unity, thoroughly immersed in the true Omega spirit. Alpha Phi, be proud.
Congratulations, Q's. This is a proud day for our community.
You've shown everyone that the strong Negro man can do anything. We can overcome any barrier. Well done, Q's.
We've done something incredible, brothers. This house is more than bricks and mortar. It's a beacon of hope. Let's continue to honor what Omega Psi Phi is building and what we are doing as brothers of Alpha Phi.
In 1926, Alpha Phi made history by becoming the first black Pan-Hellenic organization to own a house in Birmingham. This milestone was a significant step toward equality and empowerment, leaving a lasting legacy for future brothers.
To say a group of men got together and purchased an additional house outside of their primary home to have meetings, fellowship, strategize, to elevate, to build, to become pillars of the community, to do that in a separate location, that's almost like it's unheard of. If you look back and just step back in that time to see that, that meant that those brothers were very, very forward thinking.
That frat house stood on the corner of 8th Avenue and John Street, which city records show was renamed 4th Street. One story described rooms inside the Omega House designated as Assembly Hall, Card Room, and Dining Hall. The rooms were decorated in royal purple and old gold, and the lighting scheme used the same colors of the frat. Alpha Phi's bosses at the time was noted in a Birmingham Reporter article. Bosses Guillermo Talaferro was also a member of the Journalists Club of Cuba, a Mexican who writes his assignments in both Spanish and English. That same night the chapter acquired their frat house, Alpha Phi initiated 7 neophytes, among them E.J. Oliver of Fairfield.
He was the founder of Fairfield Industrial High School. He was a king-sized educator here in Jefferson County. Every time, if you look back at every conclave picture, going into the 50s, into the 60s, maybe probably in the 40s, you know, they would have, you know, Brother Edgar A. Love and Cooper and all them who were still living, you know, up front. Guess who would be sharing the front row with them? E.J. Oliver. So he had some type of personal relationship with those guys.
They even named a street after E.J. Oliver in Fairfield. He was such a dynamic man for the black community. I mean, all of the older blacks in Fairfield knew E.J. Oliver and respected him and he was a good Omega man.
On the fraternity level, Omega was entering the fabled 30s. Omega Dear was adopted as the official hymn, composed by 2 faculty members from Howard University, Dr. Charles R. Drew and Mercer Cook. Not long after the adopting of Omega Dear, an Alpha Phi brother was being recognized in Birmingham. Arthur Harold Parker. It's 1939. Industrial High is renamed A.H. Parker High School for the contributions Brother Parker made to the Birmingham community. He was retiring after serving as the school's first and only principal for 39 years. It's the sound of black music in 1940. Omega's 28th Grand Conclave is in the city of Nashville. It's there the fraternity adopted the official Sweetheart song, a song Alpha Phi does to near perfection.
Dear Omega girl, I love you. With the love that is divine, swear by all the stars that my love will be but
Music played an important part in the integration and the socialization of blacks in Birmingham, because we had limited spaces. The Downbeat Club in Inslee was one of the places that we could go. There was one place, the Madison Night Spot, down past, like you go into Bessemer, but you'd have to drive through Midfield, and invariably you was gonna get a ticket. So we used to keep $5 in our pockets, so that when we came back through Midfield, when they stop you, If it was two of them, you had to have $10. But if it was one, you could get by with $5. But that was quite an experience.
An experience 85-year-old George Washington discovered early and developed in the Birmingham Heritage Band, where he played trumpet. Brother Washington initially pledged Omega at Miles College.
But they kept me online so long, I graduated. And then I had to go in the grad chapter.
He crossed at Alpha Phi in 1961.
If you can see, the letters have fallen off.
And rose through the ranks.
I got to be the keeper of records and seals. I got to be in charge of the talent hunt. The story about when I was a keeper of records and seals for a couple of, maybe three terms, but the first term, believe it or not, Art, it took the Bosselis and two or three of the leaders at the time to get the file cabinet, and that's all we had, from Clarence Williams, who was a teacher at Parker, who taught me at Parker, but didn't want to give up the seat as the keeper of records and seals.
The 1960s in Birmingham were turbulent times and an active era for Brothers of Alpha Phi.
I think back at the time, or I look at it in this sense that you look at what was happening in the early civil rights movement, and a lot of our chapter brothers during that time were very monumental in the movement. They played a major role behind the scenes and out front.
You talked about, well, Brother Champion, you talked about the radio announcements that get kids out of school. Brother Champion was right there, helping to carry that message, giving the kids a sign, okay, it's time to come downtown.
Brother Champion talked about his involvement in the movement in the Birmingham Civil Rights interview conducted by another Alpha Phi brother, Dr. Horace Huntley.
Did you participate in demonstrations? Did you march?
Yes, I did.
Tell me just describe what it was like being a part of the demonstration.
It was a great feeling that came over, knowing that you were doing something to possibly help those who had to come behind you and those who were not getting involved, because somebody would reap the benefits of my involvement, I felt. And that's why I even took part of the march from Selma to Montgomery.
Alpha Phi's prominence in 1967 drew the attention of founder Brother Bishop Edgar Amos Love, pictured here at the A.G. Gaston Motel during a smoker Alpha Phi held in his honor.
First of all, it was in the 60s. We know the turbulent 60s in America, and particularly in Alabama. Number two, being able to have the founder come to Alabama. That's huge in itself as well. I'd like to really think there's anybody still around that when the founder came to visit the chapter, but that is huge. Most of our chapters, particularly when the founders was really traveling, was in the Eastern Seaboard. So to come all the way down to Alabama and see the Brothers of Alpha Phi in Birmingham, that's huge. Not only for the founder to do that, just for the Brothers of Alpha Phi chapter to host him.
Also in 1967, under the guidance of Bosselis Samuel O'Neill, Alpha Phi marked another significant development. The newly formed Fraternal Association, you see the board in this photo, purchased a new frat house, commonly referred to now as 864. This after brothers had met in various homes and other places.
I was 14 years old, and it was a requirement in our household that at dinner time, everybody had to be at dinner. So we all at the dinner table as usual. Now I can remember my father leaning over and telling my mother that Alpha Phi is to a point where we need to buy a home, but we need collateral. And we need collateral now. So he told my mother that he had agreed to put our home up as collateral. Well, my mother being a mother, she said to us, she said, listen, your father has lost his mind. He's put our home up for collateral to buy a frat house.
I think I'm the last person living who signed the lease to get that house. I was working with A.G. Gaston at that time, and we got Dr. Gaston to loan us the money through another brother who was working at the bank to loan us the money to get that house.
During our last mortgage, we, Fraternal Association came up with an idea that for, I think it was like $7,000 or $8,000 that was owed on it at that point in time. The brother said, well, look, this doesn't make sense. So I came up with the suggestion that every brother who contributed at least $100 would get their name on the plaque, and we go pay out the mortgage. We did that. We did that in about 2 months. So it was whatever Alpha Phi said that they wanted to do, they did.
A sentiment echoed by Brother Horace Moore.
I made it in 1952 at Miles College. There's about 8 brothers on the line with me. And most of them gone to glory now. But I might be the cute in Alabama now.
You might be like the oldest Q in Alabama, right?
I know the oldest Q in Alabama. Kill Sci-Fi.
At age 93, Brother Moore has seen a lot. He's known for his abilities as keeper of records and seal.
We always competed with the Loudon chapter and the others, and Montgomery chapter is pretty strong.
Has Alpha Phi always been this big chapter in the state of Alabama?
Always been the life. Always been the life.
They look at us as our leadership, our social action, our interactions with all of the major community projects, whether it's voter registration, whether it's the mentorship program, the bridge builders, or whether it's doing Thanksgiving or Christmas, the sickle cell, all of the community projects, we're involved.
Where are brothers making their imprint in this city?
Everywhere. We are, through city leadership and city government, on the boards of the Sickle Cell Foundation, on the boards of the Firehouse Shelter, representing brothers and clients in the courtrooms as attorneys, being engineers and things of that nature for the power company and the gas company. We're making our mark all over the city of Birmingham.
Alpha Phi making a mark throughout the community and within the fraternity. One such example is Brother George Smith. Brother Smith's wall is full of awards from every level. Superior Service from Alpha Phi, Founders Award from the Alabama State Organization, Outstanding Service from the 7th District Meeting in 2004, and Meritorious Support of the Centennial Conclave in 2011. An Alpha Phi brother who became National Executive Director.
The way I got to Executive Director, they said, okay, for 6 weeks, we want you to come in and implement. And during that time, we had gone through 2 or 3 executive directors. None of them were permanent. And so that 6 weeks turned into 6 years. And so some of the things I brought in was, they talk about the Zen system. We had the first thing that we came up with was a troubleshooting system.
Alpha Phi carried with it that level of reputation that when someone was representative of that chapter, there was an expectation that that was the best. They were coming from the best. They were coming from one of the oldest and the largest chapters in the Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
The chapter's reputation, along with Brother Clarence Brown, a longtime educator and U.S. Department of Labor retiree leading the effort, convinced the fraternity to hold the 2008 Grand Conclave in Birmingham.
The year that Clarence needed to bid on the conclave, he needed a check for $10,000 to take to that particular conclave. I gave him a check for $10,000 that our Alabama Power gave me to give him so that he could leverage the fact that they were coming to 2008 to Birmingham, Alabama. And he came to my office, and that's the last time I heard from Clarence Brown, because he died shortly after that.
The sad thing for the 08 conclave was that Brother Clarence Brown was not able to see it. And that's how I became Grand Marshal for the conclave.
Clarence Brown worked hard on getting that conclave here, and we eventually got it here. And I like to think that's what kind of cast us into the big light. I mean, we've always been there, I mean, to a certain degree, but, you know, the white-collar bros saw it. Now you said the blue-collar bros saw that, oh, Alpha Phi in Birmingham.
Brother Holmes, a former Alpha Phi Bossless and Alabama Power executive who was initiated through Nu Epsilon chapter in 1967 at Alabama A&M, was the reason Alpha Phi was in the international spotlight again just 2 years later. He made a run for Grand Bossless, came close to winning.
I felt like I let people down. I had begun to write the acceptance speech. I thought I had gotten a little bit arrogant because I got to the runoff. And there were people writing my acceptance speech as we were thinking, and to have lost was devastating. And that still haunts me a little bit.
We ran a good race right down to the bitter end. Brother Bob Holmes is my mentor. Ever since I got on land at Nu Epsilon chapter, and today I still believe that he would have been the best Grand Bossless that we'd ever had.
I think he would have been a great, excellent Grand Bossless. I mean, because he had every tenet that it takes to do that. And I feel like that he would have been able to take this fraternity to a whole new level, just with his leadership experiences.
That leadership within Alpha Phi is evident across the chapter's numerous initiatives. This includes impactful programs such as the Lamplighters Mentoring Group.
One thing I learned while being in OLL is how to assert my presence when I walk into a room and make myself known and project my voice. And another thing I learned is how to serve my community and help my peers.
Over the years, Alpha Phi has awarded more than $2 million in scholarships to high school seniors.
I would like to say thank you to the Alpha Phi chapter of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I wanted to say thank you for this opportunity and the scholarship that you have provided me.
The charitable arms of Alpha Phi are far-reaching, with Easter egg hunts, with bike giveaways, toys for needy children at Christmas time, voter registration drives throughout the community.
Good morning.
Ringing the bell for the Salvation Army during the holidays. Turkey and food handouts to feed the underserved. Supporting the Day of Service and 5K walk run during Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. Talent hunt programs and so much more. Many of the programs supported through the chapter's Omega Scholarship and Benevolence Fund.
One of our charitable arms of this chapter, we support women's programs, we support homeless or unhoused programs all throughout the city, and that is the way for us to provide services and funds and goods to different organizations, one of the biggest ones being Sickle Cell Foundation.
We always expected when we went to state meetings to start that at least win state awards for social action. It was just expected that Alpha Phi, we've always considered ourselves one of the premier chapters in the state of Alabama and of course in the district.
Alpha Phi's commitment to community service and social action align with the chapter's faith.
This great fraternity was founded upon Christian manhood. And from that, you would get brothers to come and join the fraternity. When they saw that we were doing positive things, things that were based on what the fraternity is based on, that made it better. I think today, that's the reason this chapter is over 300 strong.
Every third Monday, any minister or a friend of a brother or anyone that God has chosen could come on and teach the word, as long as they're teaching God's word on that third Monday night. And as we begin
we shared with the brothers from Beta Mu Nu, and they started theirs that Tuesday night since we was on Monday night.
Even with all of the chapter's success, no journey is without its challenges. Alpha Phi has dealt with obstacles along the way.
I was bossless. Started my term in 2019, in November 2019, and then COVID hit in March 2020. So there were some frantic phone calls. How are we going to do this? What are we going to do? So we were able to leverage some technology tools that were out there to continue to operate the chapter in the best way we could, because we weren't doing any public gatherings. So basically everything was being done via conference call or Zoom call or Teams call. So it was, how do we operate effectively with this obstacle in front of us and not let it trip us up?
Resiliency through the pandemic reflected on the leadership of the chapter.
It is a collective effort of all of us. And it's just something about that silk bond of unity that we have. And it really helps us accomplish all these things.
Leadership that was often developed through tough love.
If you didn't have your information correct, you had to hear from E.J. Oliver, you had to hear from Emory O. Jackson, you had to hear from Clyde Kirby, and Abraham Jones. These were significant people in the community. But you know, if you didn't have the I's dotted and the T's crossed, you know, they were going to let you know very soon that you had to get it straight.
In my administration, I wanted everything timed because I had experienced lapses. When you have a lapse, you fall behind. So I told Brother Brooks and Brother Bland, Sean Bland and Christopher Brooks, they were coming up in the frat. They were full of enthusiasm, but they hadn't done that task.
Brother Bland and myself, Brother Bland was the chair. Like I said, now I was the assistant reporter.
They do a lot of things well, but they hadn't done that task. So we had some words.
You know, man, y'all need to go up here and make sure this thing is handled and make sure it's bring it back to me until it's done right.
And that's factual. I told them don't come down until it's done.
A lot of educators up there, so they had no problem in correcting you if they thought you were wrong.
Apparently, Brother Brooks got the message as he eventually became bossless of Alpha Phi and currently the 25th, 7th District Representative, leading the largest district in the fraternity.
That's my guy. But Dr. Brooks he was my bossless when I came in. That's my road dog. Everybody know we thick and thin. We ride or die. I'm super proud of him and the accomplishment he's made. And being the first elected district representative out of Alpha Phi, that's not a small feat. That's monumental, and he's doing a phenomenal job.
I tell anybody, man, I'm just blessed. I'm not any different or any better than anybody else, man. God just so happened to bless me and put me in those positions. So my objective is to do the best that I can, which is going to always be representative of Alpha Phi, because brothers who know me, they know I'm Alpha Phi. No matter where you go in this country, if you ask them and they know, and they had any dealings with me, they know Alpha Phi, right?
Alpha Phi strives to uphold the chapter's legacy of friendship, achievement, and leadership, passed down from the 12 charter members and Hall of Fame brothers. To the neophytes, Alpha Phi is a chapter standing strong. Under the leadership of Grand Basileus J.W. Love, Omega chartered Alpha Phi in 1924. 100 years later, with Basileus Robert Everhart at the helm, the legacy of Alpha Phi continues as one of the largest chapters in the fraternity.
What makes me the proudest is our history. It's our history and how we are connected to our community. Like that, I'm really proud about that. And once I drive down certain streets in Fairfield, I see E.J. Oliver Boulevard, I see Jerry Coleman Street. We come to Birmingham, we see Age Parker over here. We see close, not far from where we are right now is Malachi Wilkinson Middle School. Like, those are things that really, really, really make me proud to be a part of Alpha Phi, because we have so much rich history here in this chapter.
Dear Omega girl, I love you. Sweetheart, sweetheart of You are mine, you are mine, you are mine.
Wait, hit it more.
That was Lloyd Hill with the solo. Pat Wilson back there on the